Yo, what's going on, bro? My name is Sam Walford. I'm a 17-year-old dropout entrepreneur from Coventry in the UK, and I help young guys, probably just like you, to start self-improvement coaching and make their first 2K per month. And right here we have Mr. Laurits Valentin Offerson from Denmark. Laurits, introduce yourself, bro.
Yeah, man, I'm 18 and I started working with Sam. How long ago was it? It was in December, right? If I remember correctly. Yeah, man, and it's been crazy ever since. I've made more money online than I ever had before, so my life has made a turnaround completely.
Yeah, that's a solid hook there for what's to come in this interview.
Yeah, low key.
Yeah, yeah. Um, So, I mean, people probably already, can see where you generally roughly got to from the title and thumbnail and everything. So we're not gonna have to fucking keep it a secret or any or anything during this.
Yeah,
Um, I guess starting off, going all the way back to the start, then, Lara, it's like you getting into online business and starting YouTube. I remember you had like your YouTube channel. Like, tell me about that. What was that like?
yeah. So I'd been making YouTube videos for about 2 years. At first, I had no idea how to monetize. I was just making it for fun. But then I heard about, the low ticket course thing, and that was like my way out. And so I made that. I made my first like $100 off that. And I started coaching this guy who joined my stuff for like very little pay, $15 a month, and he was getting like full support. It was pretty crazy. And yeah, that was my way into everything.
Yeah, I see. I remember that guy asking for a refund or something like that.
Yeah, he went really crazy, man. He went really crazy.
Yeah, that's just the epitome of low ticket. So how much money were you making at that point? Was it just 15 a month or
Yeah. I made like $100 in total of this.
yeah, that's crazy, man. And
Yeah.
I mean, back then, like what were you actually trying to achieve? Like what were you trying to make?
Well, I always had the big vision of 10 grand a month, and I
Yeah.
thought that if I just had one video blow up, it would be possible. Like I wanted to do like pretty much every young guy's dream. Like move out, travel, do all that stuff, right, and make a lot of money. And so I'd set a goal that I'd be making 5 grand a month within 1 year when I sold these low ticket courses. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a pretty solid goal you had then, man. I mean, what do you think was kind of holding you back and stopping you from actually making real progress on that at the time then?
Probably the fact that I was doing this low ticket thing because, you know, like if you've been watching other Sam videos, it's like a gear 5 thing, and so I wasn't getting like tens of thousands of views, so I wasn't getting many sales, obviously, and so I didn't know what to do to make more money, to be honest.
Hmm. Yeah, and how did that kind of because that's kind of like a business problem, but I find for young guys like us, it's like our business is kind of our life.
Yeah,
How did that
yeah,
lack
yeah.
of progress kind of affect you in life in general?
I mean, it demotivated me. I was like big on the grind and self improvement and all that stuff, right? And so it kind of demotivated me. It made me want to work less hard because it felt like I was doing the work, but for what purpose, right? I wasn't really getting anywhere. I wasn't making money. Not really. Yeah,
So you think kind of like not being able to lock in was a problem?
yeah. It was, yeah.
Yeah, I see that. And that was just solely because the results were so disconnected from the actions.
Yeah, it's like you're shooting into the dark and nothing comes back.
Yeah, I see that, man. I mean, going more into that then, like how did that actually make you feel?
Bro, you don't even know. Like, I was so certain of my success, but at the same time, I was like, how's this gonna like
Yeah.
end up happening? I had no idea because when you're doing the same thing for months on end, and it seems like you're getting $100, and that there's people on YouTube saying, oh yeah, you get the 10 grand a month from doing it. It just seems so unreal, like so far away from reality.
Mm. Yeah, I know exactly that, man.
Yeah,
It's like you feel you're fucking destined for success, and it's,
yeah,
it's like you've got that weird thing inside of you. But then at the same time, it's like you haven't really seen any real results, and it's like you're just hoping for that blow up, and the blow up just fucking never
yeah,
comes. And
yeah.
it's like your intuitive feelings within you contradict the logic, like really, really
Mm.
heavily. Um, yeah, I see that, man. Yeah, I think a lot of guys are sort of still in that position now where it's like, you know, they're not working as hard as they could be. They just can't start, you know, they're waiting and relying on, you know, the external force of YouTube to save them, instead of going and taking action. I do get that, bro.
Yeah. I mean, you know, let's say I would have blown up, you know, I probably had to have stuck with that, because then you can make money, obviously, if you get a fuck ton of views and many people, but it's like it's like taking the biggest chance that's not really like certain, you know, it's very risky, or how do you say, you know?
It's playing the lottery with your future life. It's basically playing the lottery for whether you fucking, you know, live that freedom, drop out,
Exactly.
or you fucking work in a cubicle for the rest of your life.
That is true.
Yeah.
And also, one of the things which discouraged me a bit about YouTube is, I remember you mentioned this to me at one point, where it's like, with this the method we're doing, it's more like, you know, the more work you put in, the more results you get. And I like the idea of working hard, you know, like waking up at 5 a.m., going in my cold plunge, you know, like doing all this.
Let's talk more about that then. So, shit, I think you might have joined my free community or something like that. I can't remember how we first got into contact, because, or you must have my free community then.
Yeah, I think I randomly saw it, and I was in there for quite some time and nothing really happened. But then you sent me a message,
Yeah. Hang on, let's have a look at this. I can fucking scroll back on the messages. Yeah, October 27th you joined, and then I remember it was November the 30th that I closed you. Because that November the 30th was like my first ever like 3K day. Yeah. Oh yeah, I see. We got on the call, and then you like that thing. So I mean, tell me about that. Like, why did you actually join? Like, what made you pick this?
Well, you know, everybody's promising so like crazy, you know, the 10 grand a month thing, and I just thought, you know, I just need to take the first step, right? And I was obviously at the beginning stages, so getting from 0 to, you know, even 1K a month, that's a big step, right? And it even does change for your life.
Yeah. So, I mean, tell me more about that. Like, just taking the first step.
Yeah, you know, I felt like I had already like taken a baby step kind of with the YouTube and the low ticket course thing, but it wasn't really working. And then you said something to me which I really, or I don't know if, you said it to me. It's like, you know, you're doing what other people, you know, are doing now, but not what they were doing when they were at your stage. And that really like hit me. I'm like, yeah, you know, they're already making this amount of money. They have like an editor, they're living here, they're boom, 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 all these things, right? But what they were doing when they were at my spot is this thing. And so, it just really made sense to me.
Yeah, sort of do what they did, not what they're doing. It's like you see the guy speeding along and he's in like gear 5, which is super scalable, like YouTube and everything, because he's got the editor, he's already got the momentum, he's already got the money. And he's obviously sort of in gear 5 doing a more scalable thing, but then because it's gear 5 and it's more scalable, it's also lower leverage. And so here's you on a standstill, and he goes speeding past at gear 5, and he tells you, look, bro, you know, you need to be in gear 5. Gear 5's what works. And then you're sitting there fucking stuck in the mud, trying to get the car going, and you're like, oh, gear 5 is what gets the car stuck out the mud. And it's like, bro, you gotta
that
do
doesn't work.
what you don't see is that guy 3 years ago being where you are, and him starting in gear 1 just by doing, you know, coaching and everything. So I fully fucking get that, man. That's like the main unique selling mechanism of the fast lane and everything. Is I mean, here's an interesting question. Why didn't you want to join?
Why I didn't want to join? I guess, you know, obviously, you know, there's always a big thing, you know, making such an investment, obviously. And then also because, you know, at the end of the day, right, there are people who are, like we just said, you know, people making even more money shouting at you that you should just do what they're doing. And it's like their voice is obviously bigger because, you know, they have more credibility to say. And so I guess that was also pulling me in the other direction. Also because, you know, I've invested 2 years into this, you know, it would be crazy just completely switch it all up, you know?
Yeah, I see that. I do see. I hear that a lot as well. It's like, well, I've been doing YouTube for so long already. Like, you know, why don't I carry it on? The analogy I always use for this is like, imagine there's a mother and her child's gone missing. how long does she continue looking for a child until she gives up? Because she isn't going to fucking continue looking for a child 18 hours a day in the woods 30 years from now. Okay, that'd be
Yeah,
irrational, you know?
yeah,
Yeah, you go out look for look for your child for the next couple of weeks, makes sense. But like, at some point you got to accept that your child's fucking dead. Same with the YouTube. At some point, you need to accept the YouTube isn't dead and you've just wasted all that time. And
yeah,
continue, not cutting your losses is just going to cause more losses at
yeah,
that point. So again, I see that, man.
yeah. The way I always put it for myself is like, you're going down a road and you can already see that it's like a dead end road. Like you can't, continue through the road. So what's the point of going all the way down to go all the way back off if you can just turn around now?
Yeah. Now here's an interesting question because I think a lot of the guys watching this is like they probably like this is the interesting thing. There's like dissonance between their logical and emotional sides of their brain because the logic they sort of agree with here of what we're saying, but then the
Mm,
emotion is like, oh, I've already been doing it, I need to continue it.
yeah.
But for a guy who's like that, which is probably like you were, what would you tell him where it's like you got that, they feel they need to continue because they've done it for so long and they don't want to like have all those years wasted. But at the same time, they logically know it's not going to work.
Probably like when has ever just trusting your feelings been like the best like argument for shit? Like sometimes you just have to do something that's uncomfortable, like take the leap of some sort, that's how it is.
Yeah. Do you think the reason there's that dissonance might be because it's like they don't want to accept that they've just lost those years of YouTube?
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to say, fuck, I was wrong. Like all this time, all this effort, and it was all obviously not gone to waste because everything adds up, but it's been the wrong way I've been going in.
Yeah. I mean, those 2 years of you doing YouTube, like, 2 years of your youth, what do you think that's like worth to you?
I mean, obviously, let's say I had been doing this instead, I probably would have gotten further. But if I'm honest with you, I'm not even mad about it. Like, I feel like it's part of the journey. And
Yeah.
from doing that, I've also gotten other skills, which have, obviously helped me now.
Yeah.
So I am really grateful for it at the end of the day. But
Mm.
yeah, definitely if I'd gone this way immediately, I would have gone like way faster.
Now
Maybe I'd be
let's
in Bali right now.
no, let's say, Laritz, that you didn't join on that fateful November 30th, 2025. Let's say you didn't join. Like, where do you
Yeah.
think you would be now instead?
I was, yeah, that's a rough question, isn't it? Like the obvious answer is like, I would have been doing the same YouTube shit, but I was looking into like high ticking and stuff. That's why I even joined your community at that point. So maybe I would have tried, but it probably wouldn't have gone as well as it has for me now, obviously.
Yeah, so you think you would have tried getting into like the Gear 1 high ticket coaching model?
Yeah, but then getting people from YouTube instead. So
Oh
doing it
yeah.
half.
So it's like you
Yeah, yeah,
got Gear 5 traffic source, but a Gear 1 product.
exactly. Yeah,
It's in the
because
car
I
park.
was yeah, I watched like a YouTube video from a guy who said that was the way, and then I saw you, and I thought, why not combine them?
Yeah, yeah, interesting. But to like properly answer that question, like, it's 23rd of May right now.
Yeah.
Let's say you didn't join the fast lane back in November. What do you think you would be doing today?
I think like literally on this day, I'd probably like have recorded a few videos by now, like made a thumbnail, whatever. And my biggest achievement would have been like surpassing 1,000 subs or something like that.
Yeah. How many subs you
Yeah,
on right now?
930 or something. So
Yeah. Yeah. So
yeah,
you think you would sort of be in the sort of similar situation then?
yeah. Nothing would have like changed much, obviously, because it
Yeah.
was very slow.
Yeah. I see that. I think we've already covered this a strong amount, but in terms of you making the decision to join, what do you think it was that sort of finally pushed you over the edge?
You had a really good offer from me, obviously, all this like support that you get, but
Mm.
also I had like literally 1 year prior, I was about to get YouTube coaching with a guy, but then he randomly stopped doing it, so we never got to do it. And I thought, fuck, I'm not gonna like, waste another chance like that.
Yeah.
So I ended up just saying, fuck it, bro. Let me just take a chance on myself, and if you genuinely put in the work, which is what I did, like I think I was really good at taking action, then it will pan out great. You just have to make it work, you know?
Yeah, it'll work for you if you work for it.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's very rare that it's the system's fault. You know, it's
Mm.
most likely just the person not doing the work if it doesn't work.
I think that's debatable. I think it depends what program you're looking at.
Yeah, that is true, actually. But for this one at least.
Yeah. I mean, you said you're planning on getting mentorship with some other YouTube guy.
Yeah.
Like, why was it you wanted to get mentorship?
Because, you know, I'd seen where so the guy he had like 100K subs, right? And I thought, you know, if he can just like implant everything he knows into me, then obviously I'll be the same spot, right? And yeah, it's like just a fast track, you know, instead of having to go through all this shit and figuring it out, you can just tell me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, tell me more about that then. Like, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, you know, like so if we're speaking about YouTube here, right? Like he was really good on making thumbnails, you know, ideating and figuring out his own style, right? And I wanted to do that. So I thought, you know, instead of having to figure out how to do all this shit on my own and how to come up with shit, I could just ask him and he would tell me like literally everything I need to know.
Mm,
Um, and we'll go through it together and he'll give me support and review my videos and all this stuff. And so I'll just improve way faster, you know?
yeah, and so do you think that was a similar thing for the fast lane as well for why you wanted to join?
Yeah, because you know you get your calls reviewed, so you improve for every single one of them. You know the offer is built together, the call script is even built together. You know there's training on literally everything you could imagine, and so there's no point in time where you like think, oh shit, what do I need to do here, or what is the answer to this question? Because it's like having ChatGPT by your side, but for everything, right?
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
And so your problem of like not being able to really lock in because the results were disconnected from the actions and you weren't certain of you know what to do. Before joining the fast lane, do you think you were aware of how much it would help you to kind of lock in?
Yeah. Like I knew if I had something to lock in on that would actually get me, because
Mm,
like we said with YouTube, it's not so much like the more you put in, the more you get out, right? But if I had something that would be like that, you know, I'd just work like a dog basically, you know, and that's
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
No, but what I'm asking is before you even join the fast lane on that like sales call, or if you can remember that, were you, because you know now in hindsight looking back, like you've been probably, you know, you're one of the best students because you've taken so much relentless action. You know, you're one of the most consistent
Mhm.
guys in here. What I'm asking is, did you see that like that being a big sort of outcome of what you would get with this mentorship before you joined? Like, was that something you could see, or was that something that you just sort of
Mm.
saw happened after you joined?
No, you know, definitely in my mind, and also because like, I'm a guy, if I do something, I like to do it, you know, a lot. You know, I want to be
Yeah,
like actually committed to it, and obviously when you're investing into something, it adds even more commitment to it. So I was
yeah,
like, I'm not gonna take this opportunity and then half-ass it. Like I'm gonna go full in on it. And so even before that, it was like in the back of my mind, but it wasn't as present as on the day where we were on the call, because then I realized, bro, yeah, I'm gonna go all in now. Like I
yeah.
don't care, right?
That's sick. I mean, so when you joined, then like, how did you think you actually felt after joining?
Yeah, like the first day it was just weird. Like I felt kind of weird because I'd never done something like this, you know. So I just like, okay, so what now? You know, now we're on the other side. But then quickly, you know, we hopped on the call and arranged everything, got it going. And then I was just like quick to do, you know, what you told me to do. And that really helped me because then I could like quickly, you know, get to where the next step was.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's it, man. So what was the first sort of like big change you saw after joining them?
It was like having the clarity. Like I remember that was like the thing you also told me, and that was like my biggest challenge from like this the sales the thing. And you know, I finally knew what to do when I had to like sit down to work. And I felt like what I was doing was actually going to get me to where I wanted to be. You know what I mean, right? Like you told me we're going to
Yeah.
do this now, and it made sense.
Mm. Tell me more about that. Is that relating back into the whole gears thing, like the results being disconnected from the actions?
Yeah, like so back then when we started, obviously things were a bit different. You had to like set up your own protocol and shit and make like a whole course thing. So that
Yeah.
was the first thing I did, right? I recorded like 28 videos for like a course, but it still made sense. You know what I mean, right? It made sense for me that we're gonna do this so we can like get members in, and then we can like nurture them, and then we can and it felt like it was actually going to something which I could see the end result of. Like the other thing, it felt so far
Yeah.
away.
Yeah. And so instead of it like with doing YouTube where it's like you're fucking taking shots out into the void and just hoping something comes back,
Yeah,
it's almost like what you're doing, you can see the results that are gonna come back from it. And so because it's fucking right there, it's like you're way more willing to fucking
yeah,
look in, because if it's like you're searching for aliens, fucking putting radio signals out into the void, you don't even know if aliens exist. Like what's gonna motivate
yeah.
you? But if you're fucking interviewing an alien right in front of you, then kind of like how I am now,
Yeah, I just thought of a really weird analogy for this. Like, have you ever laid out an outfit because you thought it looked cool that you're gonna wear tomorrow? Have you ever like laid it out on the floor?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So basically, it felt like that outfit had been laid out. I just needed to put the clothes on. Like that's how it felt finally.
That is
It's a bit
quite an
weird, but
interesting analogy, but yeah, fair
yeah,
enough. I do see that. So,
yeah.
I mean, I think we've already sort of gone over this, but kind of just to summarize it, being in the fast lane, what was the sort of, in terms of like, not thinking about the outputs of what you get out of it or the results, regardless of that, what do you think the best part about the fast lane was?
So I can't really say one thing because there are two. The one thing is the clarity maxing, bro. Like genuinely,
Clarity
because you never
maxing.
have an excuse for not to work, bro. You never have an excuse because you always be told like what it is, fix the
Mm.
problem, like how to do this, how to do that. And then the other thing are the guys in there, man. Like made friends for life. It's
Oh
fucking
yeah,
amazing.
I
Yeah,
really respect that, bro. Like when we're gonna do the
I love,
fast lane house, that's gonna be sick, man.
yeah, man.
It's gonna be
Yeah, I've
awesome.
really gotten to know good people in here.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like if you were to be interviewing me and you were to ask me what my favorite part of the fast lane is, I would have just to say it's like the brotherhood, man. The fucking
Yeah,
community we have, bro, is sick. And like even Oggy, for example, who joined recently, him getting his first sale like yesterday after like a month or something like that. I've grinding and locking in, and he's now
yeah,
becoming a part of the community. It's just fucking
yeah,
awesome, like being able to see him because he's kind of like doing the same thing as you were doing. It's like he's now going to be
yeah,
dropping out and I mean he's on like a gap year, I think, but it's like
yeah,
he's becoming a part of the community, and it's just fucking awesome seeing that, bro. So yeah,
yeah,
I
man.
appreciate you saying that, Lawrence.
It's it's crazy how close you can get to people like online, like especially like for me, like the guy I've gotten most close to is like Evan, bro. It's crazy how close you can get to people fucking over a screen, man.
Yeah, it's stupid, and when we meet up in real life, whether it's in Sofia or fucking Budapest or wherever the fuck it ends up being, like that's gonna be sick, man.
Yeah, yeah.
That's gonna be awesome. Now, I want to throw a curveball at you here, Lawrence. What I want to talk about now is the bad sides of the fast lane. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think the hardest part was, or the part you didn't
Mm,
like the most within the fast lane? Or like, let's just start on that. The hardest part.
the hardest part of doing the work, or
Yeah, the hardest
like
part of being in the fast lane, following the process, being on this journey.
the point where I probably found it the hardest, but also the point that was most important was, you know, when you start selling from when you get the first sale, like just working and working and working and working and working, and it's you know that it's what you need to do, but when you're not seeing the results immediately, it
Mm.
just feels like, am I even doing the right fit? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you think it kind of went back to feeling like you were doing YouTube again, taking shots in the dark?
Yeah, yeah, like a bit, but not, I know that this would like get me to where I'd want to be, but it's just like the feeling of, people getting their first like sale after 3 days, like 3 calls or something. And then I had to do 20 fucking calls to,
Was it shit? Was
to
it
get a
20?
sale, right?
I had like 12 in
Yeah,
my
yeah. Yeah,
head.
no, it's 20. It was a lot. But that's also the point where you have to like look yourself in the mirror and be like, like, am I 100% committed? Because if you are, you're just gonna keep going. Like, you're just putting one
Mm,
foot in front of the other.
yeah, I think that's a very good point though that you have there. Because the other thing with the fast lane house, how am I managing it, how I am imagining it, is the only people who are going to be there, the only guys who are going to be there, are the guys who have basically locked in and have become the person that can make a successful business work. And so it's kind
Yeah,
of just defaultly a filter, and that's kind of how
yeah,
business is. It's like the business results are filtered down by the actions it takes. And so I'm kind of going off what you're saying there, but I get that, bro. I mean, in terms of what you had to overcome then to be able to get that first sale, what do you think that really was like? Really trying to go down into your fucking psyche.
Hmm. Um, I'd say like one thing I had to develop was like very good persistence. Just like sticking to it even when it was like going shit. Having a bad call where you feel like, oh, I could have done better here. Like just having the mindset that you know, you, kind of removing your ego and being like, you just need to learn from everything and like be honest with yourself. Like, don't say you're better than you are, because if you were, then you'd be doing better, obviously. So for me, it was just like I said, keep doing it even though you haven't gotten the results yet. Um, yeah, yeah, I think that's like the main thing.
Yeah, just holding out through that period where you
Yeah.
putting the actions in. See, that's in the end, that's the interesting thing, because that directly contradicts the whole thing about this being super linear and getting results fast.
No, but it's not like it was like um it's not like it was slow. Like I think going from zero, like never been on a call, like I was shaking on my first discovery call like before, because I was like nervous. I never like it being involved with so much money, for my offer and shit. Um, and then 2 months later, like I made my first sale, right? So
Yeah, I mean that. I think. See, this is the interesting thing. I think for you, it's like you went through that like long period of no results, and then as soon as you started getting sales, shit got easier.
yeah,
I mean, we'll talk about that soon, but now this is going to be a really brutal question. I remember I told you before this that you would need to be fully honest, man. Okay, you can be brutal with
yeah.
this. Okay, what didn't you like the most about the fast lane? My delivery, the way I built the fast lane, or even like before the fast lane was a thing, like that period. What was it? It would have just been like December, I think it was, on like January when it
Yeah.
was one coaching. Within all that, what was your least favorite part? Like, if you could improve something about what I did, what would that be?
Um, yeah, that's a rough one. Let me just think a sec. Okay, yeah, I'd probably say, and it's a very, very minor thing, and it has even been fixed now. But it was, when I had a call, right, I'd send it over for review to you, and sometimes they'd go like, I had many other calls in between, so it took me some time to like, get like feedback on it. But
Hmm.
now, Evan, he's like a killer, bro. I get it, sometimes I think myself, reviewing calls, it
Yeah.
can be like a bit
News. Yeah.
doing the same shit over and over again. But like now you have Evan doing them, and he's like reviewing every fucking call that's being posted. So it's
Yeah.
not a problem anymore. But for me, sometimes I was like, yeah, man, can you please like
Yeah, I get that.
review it?
I'm not crying at the feedback, by the way, bro. It's fucking hay fever. Laura, it's just so mean, bro. You're so mean, Laura.
Yeah. And
uh,
the other thing, but that's not really on you, I guess. It's more like I kind of feel bad for you in a way because of it. Like, when you have members, like I remember for the first cohort, there was like some guys, and they just don't take action, man. Like they just don't. I'm not gonna say any names because that would be like horrible, but there's just some people they don't do the shit, and it's obviously bad for you, right? When you have people joining and don't do shit, but it's always also bad for the other people because when we have a community of people trying to push each other, like making friends over doing hard work and getting results, and then there's just some who don't do shit, then it's like kind of ruins it.
yeah, I mean, I don't think it ruins it because the fact that they don't do shit means they don't do shit. It doesn't change anything. But like for example, there's a guy. I'm just looking at the members just now. There's a guy who joined 3 weeks ago, and Evan actually like went on the call with this guy because I think Evan knew him or something like that. So I never spoke with him. I don't really know what his face looks like. I'm not going to say his name, but I messaged him the other day, basically asking him like, you know, how it's doing for him pretty much. You know, how he's going on taking action. And he's basically been like, oh yeah, I was at my graduation, then I was on vacation, and then I got this fucking other thing as well. And it's like he joined 3 weeks ago, and he's telling me that he's only gonna like start working in like a week or two. And it's like, bro,
Yeah.
you know, you've just paid a lot of money to get in, and then you ain't taking action. Like that's the filter I'm telling you about, you know. And
Yeah.
that's the thing, when we do the fucking Fastlane house, it's only going to be the guys succeeding. Then guys like him, they aren't going to be there because they haven't put the work in to be there.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm looking forward to it so much. I see that.
Yeah.
I don't like the answers I've got out for what you don't like the most. There's nothing harsh enough. Like the cool reviews, like the delay on them in the past before we had Evan, well, that's fair enough. In the modern Fastlane, what is your least favorite part?
Oh, bro, I don't have much to say, man. That's the main thing. I reckon that I don't
How
know.
about we've reframed the question for a new guy joining? What do you think his least favorite part of the Fastlane would be?
Doing free work.
Yeah,
I never got to do it because we were doing things differently back when I started. But man, I'd hate that shit. I can't lie to you.
yeah. Well, doing the free coaching, the research.
Yeah, because it's like I was supposed to do like a little bit of it, and I tried it, and people just don't give a shit, so they don't do anything, man. So yeah, I'm happy I never got to do that.
Yeah. Fair enough, but that's to be fair, that is probably also the reason it took you 20 sales calls to get your first sale, mate. That actually adds up now.
Yeah, probably.
Because if you'd done the free work, the research, you'd probably be like everyone else who gets their first sale on like the third or fourth or fifth call.
But low-key, I'd rather have the sales experience.
Yeah, but it's sales experience, yes, but those sales calls are still coming in regardless, and so you're still getting the experience regardless. It's just that you're taking the calls of not like less understanding of your niche, you know.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true.
It's like Evan, who now takes on calls from me, as if you just the sales skill and there's looking at your niche, like how good you are at your niche. They're two different things, and like when I go on calls now, sales calls, I always perform better than him because I understand the niche. I do the discovery way better. However, he's just generally better at sales as a whole. He's better at like the objection handling and shit because he's studied sales way more, and so it's like I honestly, like Evan is a lot better at sales than me. I still perform better than him just because I've gone on so many calls in my niche and I understand you guys so well. And so that's just me making a point there that that's why we do the research and the free work, so you don't go on 20 sales calls.
Yeah,
but yeah, man. So
that's all I have to say, man.
Yeah. No. So moving into the juicy shit now, Laritz. When was it you got your first sale?
It was. Oh yeah, I remember very clearly actually. So it was literally on the last day of us like having our coaching period. It was on the 28th of February at 10 p.m. or something like that. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, the very, very last day. What how much was that sale for?
1K.
Yeah, that was sick, man. So how did that actually end up happening? Like, was that your 20th call or your 21st or?
Yeah, I think it was my. It could have even been more because there's no shows and then people show up to Discovery and they'll come to the sales call. But yeah, it was about like the 20th. Yeah.
Yeah. So how did that end up happening then? Like, what was the situation with that sale?
It was actually a very smooth process. I sent him a DM because I'd made a post in the community, and quickly, boom, boom, on the call, Discovery, we go really deep, like pressing properly into this guy, right? It's going really great. And I'm like, well, yeah, okay. Then we had like the new strips for the fast lane, so I'm trying him out on the sales call, and it was a bit scuffed, sale of what exactly it was I was helping him with, but it's all right. And then it was the longest sales call one of the longest ones. Like it was over an hour because he was very unsure about taking a leap, but then we got him on the other side of the fence.
So when you got that little green cha-ching in the bottom left and the money was through, how did you feel, Laritz?
Bro, it's crazy. I have like an 8-minute video on my phone, right? Because I literally jumped up and I made such a big clap, right? That it literally hurt my hands and it gave like an echo in the house. And I'm like, let's fucking go, man. I'm like dancing, jumping all over the floor, running around the house. And I record like a video of me just shouting at my phone for straight 8 minutes. Like, yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
bro, we're gonna have to fucking append the video at the end of this call recording. Um,
Yeah, it's in Danish though, but we can either way.
yeah, get some subtitles on there or some shit like that. Yeah, so going on from that epic moment of your first sale, man, like how was it with future sales after that?
It was actually a bit weird, or not weird. Like the feeling was weird because then I thought like, yeah, I'm on the top of the world. I'm fucking like best and shit. And then I went on a lot of calls the following week, but then I didn't get any sales. Obviously, you can't expect too much, when you're still just starting out, right? And then I got a little bit like, wait, I'm not as good as I thought I was. But then I went back into the mindset like I had before I got the first sale, just like, yeah, let me just more and more calls, and eventually I'll make some money. And then the month after, I made another sale, and then the month after, I made another sale, and then it's just been going like that ever since.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's like, how much have you like made total now?
3K in deals.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty solid, bro. And that's I mean, how many calls are you taking at the moment then?
60 calls, I think.
Yeah, no, like taking like the rate of calls at the current moment.
Ooh, yeah, man. Like after I got back from traveling, 4 or 5 a week, I'd say.
Yeah,
Four a week right now. But
that's
yeah,
yeah. So that's hopefully that number's going to be increasing pretty rapidly.
yeah, man. Yeah, like usually it would be like between 5 and 7, I'd say,
Yeah, that's
like a
good, man.
normal.
I mean, so how was your, because we talked about at the start, like, when you weren't making money or anything and everything, doing the YouTube, how that was affecting your life as a whole, because obviously our businesses are so connected to our lives. Like, comparing that where you weren't making money to now where you are making money, like, how is your life actually different?
I'd say like physically, it's the same. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm still in the
Mm.
same place. Like my day to day looks pretty similar. But up here it's all changed because it's like even though I had made like this small amount of money, like that opened my door to just be like, hey, I can make money online, right? But
Mm.
this opened the door to like, fucking hell, I can live off this.
Yeah,
I can actually make a living, right? And so it just changed your mindset completely, and it like changes almost the trajectory of your life, to say.
yeah, I respect that. So yeah, you were talking about like how your mental state has changed a solid amount. Like, if you can like can you go deeper into that? Like, tell me more about that.
Like I just feel like this is what I'm gonna do, like
Mm.
for like the rest of my life, or you know what I mean, like this is the path I'm gonna take for my
Yeah.
life, right? And it's made me believe in myself in a way that I don't really have never felt before. I've actually finally done what I always imagined. Like the feeling of like proving the haters wrong, right? Like that thing has finally become something that you can slowly start to realize into your life, right?
Yeah, I get that. Do you think it's more about becoming the person who can rather
Yeah,
than the actual achievement itself?
yeah. I guess so.
Yeah, I respect that then. And so I think we've already talked about this a good bit, but I'd like to go into it deeper as well. Like, what do you think you did differently to get these results? And I'm not talking about comparing yourself to other guys in the fast lane, because like to be fair, now it's like you're actually at like a pretty similar level to a lot of them.
Mm.
But for guys, outside, for other guys who are, still trying to make online business work and coaching and self-improvement YouTube work, like, what do you think you did differently compared to that guy who's still, not getting the results?
Hmm. So somebody who is doing the YouTube thing or this thing?
And I mean, you just imagine the average guy doing like self-improvement YouTube, maybe some coaching, all of that. Like, he is same situation as you were back in November. What do you
I'll
think put
say
you ahead of him in the race?
probably I'm more like willing to take a risk, I'd say. Also, but I guess that comes with the clarity. But like the action taking part is like probably my biggest like characteristic of this journey.
Yeah.
I'd say like the biggest factor for me. And then also just being open to being more wrong. Like the
Mm,
idea of being humbled all the time is something I've had to get very used to. And especially these past weeks, like, you going into depth even more with like sales and shit and like getting my stuff reviewed. It's like you just have to think that it sounds kind of horrible, but everything you're doing is probably wrong. Like not in like a bad way, but like in a way of I can do this better. Like there is a better way. I just need to figure it out.
Yeah, I see that, man. And so why do you think other people who are in your past situation tend to stay stuck where they are?
It's because, like we also discussed earlier, they've been doing it for so long, and then they cling on to to what they know. Because at the end of the day, right, they've been doing it for so long, and even though it hasn't gotten them where they want to be, it's still more safe than switching everything up and then doing something completely different.
Yeah, yeah. I see that. It's like a fucking safety mechanism in their brains.
Yeah, yeah.
I understand that, man. And so yeah, starting to like close up now then, like where do you think you're going next from here?
Like in terms of how much money I'm making or what I'm gonna do.
All of it, man.
Yeah, man. So I'm looking to, maybe become like a setter closer type of thing, getting even more into sales because I think it's very interesting. Like I really love being on the call, like doing it, the adrenaline rush. And I guess my goal was to get to $5,000 a month within September this year. So we'll see how that pans out. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think is now possible for you? This is quite an interesting question. What do you think is now possible for you to achieve, which you didn't think was possible for you to achieve before?
So obviously it's still going to take some time, what I'm going to say now, but the 10K a month, like now, it still feels crazy to me making that amount of money, but I actually see it as a possibility, like something, I can see what it is that I'll be doing to get it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It feels it's the same thing. The results now feel connected to the actions.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I see that, bro. And so how is all of this like, from that pivotal moment on November 30th up to now, like how has all of this changed how you see your future?
Everything I like dreamt about and was always certain about is now become actually certain. Like there's actually a path for me to take to get to, the future that we all like probably, the guy watching this, right? He's probably similar to me and you, they want to travel, they want to do all this stuff and make lots of money. And before that seemed like something I thought I was going to achieve eventually, but I didn't really know how. Now it's like I can actually see what it is I need to do to get there. So it feels more like certain.
Yeah. No, I see that, bro. I really do respect that. But yeah. I guess final question then, Laritz. To the young guy watching this who, was in your shoes back in November, your younger self pretty much. He's there watching this. What would you say to him now?
I would say to him, if you get a big opportunity and it seems, legit or whatever, take the risk, bro. Like genuinely take a bet on yourself. And then after that, take relentless action because if you do that, then the risk will 100% be worth it. Like there's no chance that you lose if you do that.
It's not even a risk.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Like, you've got to make it work. Like, it's not if a program or an opportunity works, if you can make it work, right? Yeah, take that risk, work really fucking hard, and then be like just accept that you're a student, I guess.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Awesome, man.
And join the fast lane. Join the fast lane as well. That's important. That's important.
Bro, we're not supposed to hard sell because then if we hard sell them, just tell them to join, then it pushes them away and they don't watch more of our videos and then we don't end up joining.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, no. So the guy watching, he's probably wanting to fucking click off now. Don't click off. We have a fucking crazy offer right now. Okay. Because obviously as you've seen with Lara, our results are fucking sick, bro. Okay. And basically we now work with a parent results offer. Okay. So that if you don't hit your first 2K per month, not only do you not pay us a penny, but we will also actually pay you $1,000 to essentially say sorry for wasting your time if that doesn't succeed. I mean, Lara, if you had that offer, bro, you probably would have joined like 5 times in a row.
Yeah, probably. I'll just join 5 times, with 5 different accounts.
Try it 5 times. Anyway, it's yeah, completely fine if you ain't interested. But there is a link, Calendly link in the description for you to book in with our team with Mr. Evan Smith, who we've mentioned a few times here. But if you're not ready to
Great
book in,
guy.
and you just want to get some more free value, we've also got the $1,000 protocol. Which if I just hang on, let me just screen share quickly so we can show you them inside and get them hooked on joining the protocol. This is the $1,000 protocol here. And you can see, I mean, Patrick and Augie are both in the fast lane. They're getting results as well. But yeah, we just got loads of free shit. I'm going to be releasing a whole new free course in the future as well. Wow. Unreleased SAM files here. Yeah, so if you want to join the $1,000 protocol, there's a link for that in the description as well. Otherwise, you can book a call. Otherwise, I don't give a fuck, bro. And I really hope you have an amazing day. But yeah, it's been great speaking with you, Laritz. And yeah, good talking, bro. Bye-bye.
Yeah, man. Lock in, boys.